Are your jimmies rustled? God, I haven't heard that in a long time.
Okay, Grandpa. Rustling your Jimmy. Your rapscallion.
Oh my God. And we are live, just waiting for it to... Da, 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 da.
As we're live on YouTube.
Yes. Hello, everyone, and welcome.
Hello.
Oh.
And he's lost it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to 3 Episode Podcast, coming to you pre-recorded and or live, thanks to YouTube and Zoom, and later on Spotify. I am not your host, but Justin's microphone appears to have cut out, so I'm going to introduce everybody else except for him. My buddy Ryan.
Hi!
Val.
Did you say my name?
You are a space. You're a space tater tot. Steve.
Morning.
And hopefully he's back. Justin?
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell happened right there.
You decided to stop talking, so I took the reins for a moment. You're welcome.
Well, no, my computer like spit my voice back at me, so I thought we had an echo, but then I realized it was just in my headphones. So wonderful way to start a podcast. I apologize, people.
Hey, man, I'm really good at fixing shit, so
yes. Thank you, John, for stepping in and saving the world.
Goddamn right, Captain America in this bitch.
So we are starting off our outer space trio. I know that we had a trio on aliens, but we're staying away from the alien section of space talk, and we're talking about just space as, you know, a thing. So tonight we're going to do celestial wonders, which is kind of a summed up wonderful things around the universe, unexplained things, amazing things, things that we haven't. Yeah, cool shit. So I have a couple things to talk about, and Val has what she calls her cool space shit list. She doesn't call it that. I just called it that, but whatever.
I'm gonna call it
that. She has a bunch of cool space knowledge and things that she has. So the first thing that I wanted to start off with is I don't know if any of us are into astronomy or astrology. Val, are you into that? Because I'm not too much of a space nerd. I know some things. I'm just not it's not my forte.
So I am into both. I'm into astronomy. I took sorry, I just saged the shit out of my room. I feel like my fire alarm is gonna go off. So I took astronomy classes in college, and then there's a place that I worked in the middle of nowhere in Maine on a lake, and they had an astronomy week every week, and they had this guy named Kelly, and he was one of Carl Sagan's colleagues. And he would come every year and bring these massive telescopes and teach us all of this cool shit. And I've always really liked space. But I also I'm interested in astrology, which is
not a science.
Not the same thing.
It's adjacent, but it's also like astrology is like a pseudoscience, and astronomy is.
It's a barely science. You should even call it science.
Listen, as much as I hate the show.
Yeah.
As much as I hate a certain show about the start of the universe, I think that he gets one thing right, which is about geology not being a science, nor is astrology.
No, it's a pseudoscience, but it's tied into astronomy because you can't have astrology without understanding the movements of the planets. And
but if you understand the movements of the planets, then astrology doesn't work.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Because since the planets move all the time and we're moving and everything like that, the night sky is never exactly the same.
Right,
and
but
you're a lot of the constellations and things that you base astrology off of are completely fucking different.
Yeah, but the astrology changes based on what's going on in the night sky at that time, or at the time of certain events. It's constantly changing. because of the sky constantly changing. So like, for example, we just came out of a Mercury retrograde, and that's when the planet Mercury looks like it's not going in reverse, but it looks to our eye like it's traveling in the reverse of where it's the track that it's normally on. And so Mercury retrograde in astrology means a lot of things, but including like breakdown of communication. It's like harder to communicate with people. There's a bunch of things that happen and that are, said to be a little bit less than ideal. But we just came out of that. So that's just like one, astrology is constantly changing. There are certain things that like your birth chart will always be the same. Because it was the way that the sky looked the moment that you were born and the location that you were born. But the astrology, like it's based on the ever-changing nature of space, which is why I said, like you can't have astrology without an understanding of the way planets work, because it is changing. It's constantly changing. So I'm so burpy today.
Well, doesn't astrology tell you why you're burpy? Isn't it like a thing? Doesn't it tell you everything?
It does.
I thought that was the point.
I don't know that much, but yeah. So I have like a very rudimentary understanding of astronomy. Like I can point out the zodiac and like the Southern Triangle and Cassiopeia and the Big and Little Dipper and Orion's Belt and a couple other things, but that's it. I was really amped for the Northern Star conjunction that we had back in November. Did you guys watch that when it was happening?
You're gonna have to educate me like I'm 5.
So
Yeah.
okay, so
as I promote our show on every freaking thing I can think of.
So I think so this is the most like recent pop culture astronomy thing that happened back in October, I think was when it started to happen. Jupiter and Saturn were visible to the naked eye in the night sky, and they started getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer together.
Suddenly they crash into one another, creating a new moon.
Obviously they're not getting actual closer together, but like our visual path of what it looks like, they looked like they were getting closer together. In reality, they were a great distance apart. But so I think it was the end of December, they conjuncted, which essentially means that they
overlapped.
So a conjunction can mean going parallel. It can mean a couple of different things, but they overlapped and they created this like beautiful, bright, like it looked like the cliche nativity northern star in the sky for a couple of days. But that was the coolest thing. But like it was neat because you could go out on every night and see them in the sky. And I think those like astronomy apps that everybody has on their phone, I think they're amazing for like beginning astronomers or like people who just like want to know, like, oh, I wonder where Venus is right now, or like I wonder what direction the sun is going to come up in. Like I think those apps are really amazing. But yeah, so that's the most recent thing that happened in terms of astronomy. But that's just the boring solar system stuff. There's like there's so much other cool shit that like we're just like theorizing, and they're like, hey, this telescope picked up on this weird shit we've never seen before. Maybe it's this, maybe it's not. We have no idea. Will we ever go? Who knows?
Well, yeah, that's one of the things that scientists do for stuff that we haven't been able to see. Like a lot of the times you'll hear them say, and this is going to be a different episode altogether, but they'll talk about like the closest planet that might have life, or this planet has this kind of gas. And the way that they, theorize on that is by using the current scientific information they have, plus as much observation as they have had with as far as like what the clouds look like, or what like the light that's coming off of it, and there's a bunch of different.
So the way that we figure out what a planet is made of, pretty much, is kind of really fucking cool. So we use spectology. I'm getting it wrong. But basically what it means is we take the light, we focus a
spectroscopy.
Yeah, there you go.
Spectroscopy.
Yeah, we focus a telescope specifically on one planet, and then we take the light that's coming off of it, and if you break that down into bands of light, like you would take if you would take like a quartz crystal and put it against the light, it turns into the spectrum.
Yep.
Well, if you do that, you could see certain markers by the spectrum of light that comes off that is produced, and that way you can actually figure out what is present coming off of a planet and what's present in things like gas clouds and stuff like that. It's actually really fucking cool that we figured how to do that, and it sounds like it's science fiction, but it's like something super easy that you could like. It's one of those fun things that you could like test the science behind it, but really you don't understand it unless you have like the gigantic instruments to do it. But it's really fucking cool.
Can I piggyback off what you're saying?
Yeah,
go ahead.
So in a similar way, scientists will point whatever type of equipment they're pointing at a star, and they'll get readings over time of like the level of electromagnetic. I don't know. It's the level of like energy. I don't know if it's the electromagnetic energy level or whatever. But so this is back before we had any validated knowledge of planets outside of our solar system, and they were just kind of observing stars, and they noticed that there were these dips in the readings of the whatever equipment they were pointing at stars, and they realized that the dips were happening at the same intervals, no matter how, it was just like an interval that was a regular same interval every time. And so they realized that what was causing the dip in the energy readout was a transit of a planet across a star.
Yep.
So they've started, that's the way that they, when they find a star, they'll point whatever equipment that they need to record it, and then they'll record it over a certain period of time. And when there are dips at a regular interval, they can tell how many planets, and they can I'm pretty sure they can tell like the relative size of the planets.
Yep.
So I think that they went from like, it was really, I was watching a show a couple of years ago, and it happened really quickly. I think it was only in the last maybe 20 years that we had any knowledge of planets outside the solar system, maybe even less than that. But now we know of like thousands and thousands of planets outside of the solar system, and that's all from like that same technique that Ryan was talking about, of like pointing equipment and taking readings, and the changes in the readings can tell you, if there's how many planets there are, the sizes that they are, if they're in that like Goldilocks zone, depending on like how far away from the star they are. And they can tell, like Ryan said, like what the chemical makeup is of them. So we're like, it's really amazing. And that's still everything we've talked about is still in the realm of like things that are actually proven science. Like this isn't even like tapping into the weird shit that, people are like, we found this thing and we don't know what it is, but it could be this, and we don't understand why it does this.
So it's kind of similar. I was just reading up on the way that they see objects and planets that are light years away from us, and the way that they can turn around and say, hey, this planet has life, 10 light years away, even though we can't really see it. is the same thing. It's the light thing. The way that they see if there's a planet in the first place is by watching a star, which usually stars are at the center of, like our sun. And they watch a star and they look for dips in the stars, the light that's coming off of the star, and that means that a planet or some kind of object is passing in front of that star, because the light dims for a certain amount of time, which can tell them like the size of the planet and all that kind of cool stuff. So that's how we find planets that are light years away, and how we will eventually find our next home. But again, we're going to go into the next home thing later on. I have a lot more content for that. So
do you guys want to hear some like weird shit that they don't have any idea of what it is?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so here's some that I thought were really cool. Let me find so we know pretty with some pretty cool certainty that like so you see like, okay, so like behind me and like behind Justin, and if you're just listening, Justin and I have like nebula clouds behind us.
Real quick, Val, this is another great reason why people should tune in on YouTube.
Yeah. Also, we're all very good looking, and you're wasting your time not looking at our faces.
At least 5 of us are good looking. One of us is a literal space potato.
So you think of like a gas will, expand in all directions. So there's so when there's a nebula or an exploding star creates the gas cloud, which is the nebula, they make all these cool shapes. And we name the shapes because sometimes they look like one thing, but they're ever changing. So there's this one nebula, and it's 2,300 light years away. And it's got an oddly geometric shape. So it is, Justin, if you want to pull up the red rectangle nebula. Okay. So nebula, but the gas clouds, they don't look like normal gas clouds. They're very, like you can see it here. It's very geometric. I'm doing a terrible job, but until you pull it up.
I'm working on it.
So it's located in the constellation of Monoceros, or the unicorn. The reason why they think that it's got this almost like crystalline rectangular shape to it is because they think it's a double star galaxy, or like at the heart of the galaxy there are 2 stars that orbit one another, unlike ours and most that have one. And so so they're saying that the 2 stars are creating these like refracting cones of light. And then in addition to that, nebula has this rare phenomenon called extended red emission. And what that is that the dust glows like super duper red. And they don't know why it glows this red. But the theory is that it's due to like super intense ultraviolet light. And the super intense UV light is interacting with the high carbon content in the molecules, and it's making it like glow this very, very deep red throughout the galaxy. But I thought that was really cool because you think of like any picture of a galaxy that of. There's the spiral galaxy like the Milky Way, but like you don't really see things that are that like organized, you know what I mean? It's very organized. It's a very solid shape. Also, the math that goes along with this is so fun. This is so exciting. I'm having like a nerdgasm.
The hell.
Okay, so I really enjoyed that one.
I was just saying, now you know how I feel like during all those random things that I love when I just nerd out with you guys.
Yeah, is this what it's like? Is this what it's like when I'm listening to you guys talk about video games?
Can I be honest?
Probably.
You remember how we all felt while Steve rattled on about Borderlands?
Yeah, this is my Rain Man subject.
This is your Borderlands moment.
Yeah,
Just
man.
although it's a lot more organized.
And a
Yeah.
lot less hair focused.
Yeah, there's no fucking monkey hair.
I mean, you can't see the hair from here wherever you guys are talking about, so that's why you're not focusing on the hair.
I don't like this at all.
There's also this concept called the Bermuda Triangle of space. And it's just a portion of I forget what direction it's pointing towards. It's also called the South Atlantic Anomaly. It's how do I say this without messing it up? Whenever the ISS passes through this anomaly, magnetic field anomaly, none of their imaging equipment works. They can't get any images, or like the images are damaged, the computers stop working sometimes. They've experienced cosmic flashes. Yeah, and the Hubble telescope is unable to take any observations while it's going through this like Bermuda Triangle of space. And like nobody knows why. I think it's aliens, but I think everything's aliens. I think aliens are like, no, this is where the ship is sitting, so you're not allowed to take any pictures. It's like cloaking device. No, I don't actually think it's aliens. I just think it's an anomaly.
So I've never actually heard of this before, and I'm just reading up on it really quick. And it's basically, so there's the Van Allen belts, around Earth, which are belts of charged particles that surround Earth. It's one of they trap like the rays of the sun. And in this particular area, it's where it comes closest to Earth, sometimes within 124 miles to Earth's surface, and it allows the radiation rays from the sun to penetrate. So it's like a high radiation area, in the highest radiation area in Earth's atmosphere or Earth's orbit, which is what they believe causes all the electronical issues and stuff. With the satellites and spacecraft and what have you. But yes, aliens, definitely aliens. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was something.
Val, there's something better than aliens, and that's real science. That's weird.
Yeah, no. Okay, so but here's the thing: there's like so much weird science that goes on in space that we know nothing about. Yeah. Let me find I've got my other list right here.
Well, I got bored, so I looked it up. The ISS uses like DSLR cameras, because I wasn't sure what it was that they needed to like see out there. I wasn't sure if it was like an MRI type imagery or something like that. 600 millimeter lenses, or the largest you have, and this is what it says, like, to take good photos. 2x telephoto. Oh, am I just reading this wrong? I guess I am. Yeah, my bad.
It's actually a product review.
No, it's from NASA.com or NASA.gov, excuse me. NASA.com is the porn site, as we all found out in elementary school about WhiteHouse.com.
God.
And it's only from a couple years ago though, so it's not like it's outdated. But it's like, how do we get these cool images? Well, here's what you're gonna need. And I'm like, motherfucker, you me again.
Do you guys want to hear about nuclear pasta?
Hey Val, every time you ask, do you guys wanna, we're all just gonna tell you yes regardless. So you should just be like, hey guys, you're gonna hear about nuclear pasta.
Okay, all right. So the next thing I want to talk about was nuclear pasta. So nuclear pasta is what happens when like
wait, hang on. I'm so sorry. I just found an actual list of cameras on the ISS.
Yeah, there's some cool live.
Jerry's like, I left my phone up there. My camera's there.
So
It's a lot of Nikons, D5, D800E, D4, D3S, D3X, D3, D200, D2XS, D1, and
None of our listeners know what any of that means.
listen,
I don't know
either.
what that means. I
But-
have no fuck. He sounds like R2D2.
Beep boop. But the bulk of it is like cameras you can get on Earth. It's not anything special. So the fact that those cameras aren't working in certain areas
Aren't
is
all
kind of
cameras
fucky.
cameras you get on Earth though?
I
Oh
mean,
my god.
there goes the Nikon sponsorship.
Can I tell you about nuclear pasta for Christ's sake?
Absolutely not.
So they think
You mean
that
the spaghetti monster?
Yes, no. But so they think that they theorize that nuclear pasta is the strongest substance in the universe. And what it is it's the leftovers of a dead star. And what happens is protons and neutrons that come from like the husk of a dead star start to, because of like the black hole in the middle or whatever force is in the middle, it starts to like deeply pressurize these protons and neutrons, and what it does is it squeezes them into these like linguine shaped tangles, but the force that you put them under is in order to, they theorize that in order to shatter this material, you would have to apply enough force to them that's 10 billion times the force needed to shatter steel. So these like little ribbons of protons and neutrons that get forced through the middle of a dead star are supposedly like the strongest substances in the universe. So if there's like science fiction writers that want an idea of like a cool,
You mean Mjolnir?
yeah, like someone who's like trying to write a cool story, they should write about like nuclear pasta farmers who like are like, you know, traveling from dead star to dead
Like
star.
dwarves? Like dwarves that use a dead star as a...
Not bringing Peter Dinklage into this. We already said no aliens.
That's how Mjolnir was made. Val, that's Mjolnir.
What's Mjolnir?
You
It's-
don't know
Oh,
what
God.
Mjolnir is?
Hammer from the
Oh, is it Hammer?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mjolnir. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was made from nuclear pasta. Okay, so what's another one I have? Okay, so there's these things called FRBs, and what that stands for is fast radio bursts, and researchers have been receiving them or picking up on them since 2007, and they're these super strong, really bright radio signals that are like they last only like a few milliseconds, and they're supposedly coming from billions of light years away. And recently scientists managed to capture a repeating it was a repeating fast radio burst, and it flashed 6 times in a row at like an even interval, which is something they've never seen before. So they don't think that like this is something that is like a signal. They just think it's like a
Background radiation.
yeah, it's just like the goings on of like the soup of the universe and everything moving, you know, doing the universe doing what it does. But they're called fast radio bursts.
I mean,
from
if
really
you-
far away.
when you I forgot the full science of it, but one of the coolest things that you could do on Earth that has to do with weird science that you don't even realize is happening is the static in your TV is actually the background radiation of the Big Bang. And that's one of the cooler things because it's just leftover radiation that's just going around. And when it's in the wires like that, it just makes those signals. There's also a lot of radio, like if you point a telescope in certain areas, pretty much every star and everything. Hi, Steve. That's if you point a radio telescope at a star, that's another way of figuring out what the star is made up of, because you could get the radio waves back, and that could actually give you another spectrum analysis of planets and such things, which is another cool thing. That's why we have giant telescopes sitting out there, like arrays of giant telescopes and such. They're not looking for alien signals. They're actually out doing radio spectrum analysis that also tells of the makeup of the universe, which is another fun part of everything.
You guys know what rogue planets are, right? That's like,
Hell yeah, that's where all the bad guys go.
oh,
Solo and Rogue Squadron.
Justin, rogue planets are cool. They're just planets without a solar system. They're just hurtling through space.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Universe be like, yeet.
Yeah, Rogue Planet got yeeted at some point and then never stopped being yoked. And now it's
Oh my god.
It's yoinked.
So when you were talking about like the antennas pointed at the universe, the only thing I could think of was when Bender was lost in space.
And he became a
Fry-
god.
Yeah, Fry used the monk's radio to try and find out where he is, and then he met God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
I just like that he. All right, we're kind of on topic, so I can talk about this. I like that he grows two civilizations on either side of his body, and they just go into nuclear war on one another, and everything he does fucks it up worse.
Yep.
That's a good episode.
Okay, here's one. Do you guys know what a globular cluster is?
No.
The cluster of globs.
So a globular cluster is a really fun phrase to say, and B,
Very dirty.
I mean,
yeah, it does sound dirty.
It
Sounds like a rusty trombone or like a, you know what I mean?
I put my globular cluster on her face.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like this at all. This is gone downhill very quickly.
So I think it's globulous is the word, or globule. It just means like a small sphere. But so what a globular cluster is, it's this ancient, very densely packed group of stars. But the way that they're observed, there's one that you can observe with the naked eye, and I forget what it's near. But you can observe some of them with the naked eye, but what they look like is like a little blob of haze in the sky with the naked eye. But the craziest thing about the way that the cones and rods in your eyes pick up on light, you look directly at a globular cluster, it'll almost disappear from your sight. But if you look just to the right or left or up or down of a globular cluster, it will appear brighter because of the way that the light is hitting the cones and rods in your eye. It's a really weird phenomenon. And it's just because of all the diffused light. But in the night sky, they look like big globs of light. But it's just like very densely packed, super gravitationally linked groups of it's like a garden, a nursery of stars.
I am suddenly picturing Family Guy now. Thanks for all of the cartoon references. Where I think it was Stewie was like dying, so he goes, "Take my final words. Dear little squiggly ball of light in my eyeball."
No, that was Peter. It was Peter.
He was talking about the floaters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of where there's a globular. So if you're looking out in the night sky on a clear night and you see what looks like a little blip of haze, that's a globular. It's probably the globular cluster. But I think that I've always enjoyed those. I think they're really cool looking. I think it's crazy that our eyes are flawed in that when you look directly at it, it disappears from your view. And then if you look to the side of it, it just immediately pops back into view.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really pretty too. There's a lot of pretty shit in the universe. That um, so yeah, so you gave us a list. I think you were going down them of the weirdest, like a bunch of weird shit. I think that was basically what you were going through is some of the weird shit in the universe. There's also some really beautiful shit in the universe. And I have a couple of them here. The first one that I wanted to bring up is where is it? The Mystic Mountain. And this is probably one that people probably know about. Mystic Mountain is one region of intense turbulence and high energy stellar activity within the larger Carina Nebula, which I'm not a space expert, so I don't know where that is. I just thought it was really pretty. So I am going to share that really quick and we can go ooh and ah because
Can you, after this one, can you pull up the pillars of creation?
Yeah, actually, I believe I have that one up there. But again, people, this is we are somewhat a visual medium at times. So
Hell keeps a Stadia thing on their goddamn computer.
So yeah, so here's the cool part about nebulas. It's literally like a giant ball of gas hurtling through space at high speeds, but because it's so far away from us, it looks like it's still. It's so wild to me that you can just go back and take picture after picture after picture and nothing will have changed. But eventually that will, like, theoretically, if there's humans 10,000 years from now, knock on wood,
right,
then the nebulas will look different. Yeah, that's the pillars of creation. I think they look like dicks, but I think everything looks like a dick.
You have a very phallic mind.
I see animals. I see like a wolf, a gorilla.
Are we playing the game where we look at the clouds? Because I see a fist missing 2 fingers or a finger and a thumb.
Oh, it's the Shocker Nebula.
It's also ET's
Shocker Nebula.
hands.
I don't think so. It kind of looks like the case for Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it does.
You're welcome. You'll never unsee it. Folks at home, if you've never played Left 4 Dead, it's a zombie game. Go play it.
And then play Back 4 Blood in 2 months when it comes out.
Yes. Thank you for the video game recommendation.
Yeah. Oh, I see it on NASA.com too. That's why this looks like the Shocker.
Justin, will you pull up a Fermi bubble? Fermi. I'm really
anybody listening to this episode in like a month is going to be really mad.
Well, too, it's, you know what?
I mean,
how about this? They listen to me say it and then they Google it with their phone while, you know, they're smart people.
Google it.
I mean, another thing that our listeners can do is just come to YouTube to see what we're actually talking about.
Right. I mean, our episodes are available after the fact, so you can come to our channel and watch our previous episodes and be able to see all of this. So instead of listening to it on an audio medium, you can come to our channel and subscribe, and then watch the episodes and see some of the wacky shit that we get into. That's a good point.
So this is a Fermi bubble. What were you gonna say, Steve? Sorry.
Yeah, if you really don't want to go watch it, listen to Val explain what it looks like.
Yeah, or just like listen to the words that I say and Google the pictures, but like actually come watch us because it's great. So this is a Fermi bubble. So it's named that because the Fermi Gamma Ray Telescope picked it up. And so what we're looking at is a like side view of the Milky Way galaxy. That's where we live. And so what those 2 big clouds, it looks like a figure 8 with like I like how they've patriotic colors. So it's these 2 big bubbles. It looks like a figure 8 with like the Milky Way slicing through the middle. And so what these are is just massive, massive, massive clouds of gamma rays. They're expanding at 2.2 million miles an hour. And there's concentric bubbles. So there's like bubbles within a bubble coming from the galaxy's core. So they make this incredible hourglass shape. So I just think that's like, going back to the things that are just beautiful. These are obviously, we can't see it with the naked eye. So we have these amazing telescopes to like take these incredible photos of us. Also, like, how crazy is it that we can look outside of ourselves as a species and just like, where's the farthest telescope that we have now? We've got not a telescope. We have a probe outside the solar system, right?
You mean physical?
Like we have a probe outside the
solar
system, right? Like a couple years ago, it went out the solar system. So we now have the ability, we have the technology theoretically to bring something outside of our solar system to then, I just think
it took
it was launched in the
50 years.
Yeah, I think it was launched in the 70s.
It was because Carl Sagan helped it be launched. And Carl Sagan is way dead at this point.
Oh, way dead.
Way dead. He's way dead, Morty.
I'll be like, yo, Carl Sagan, you want some help? And he'd be like, I don't know, I'm super dead.
Y'all know what a quasar is?
Hell yeah.
Wait. Before we go into quasars, can I show you my favorite picture of probably my favorite picture of space ever taken?
And
I was just able to find it.
I'm going to describe your favorite picture.
So on September 15th, 2006, Saturn.
Nobody say anything after Justin puts the picture up. I'm going to poorly describe it to the best of my ability.
Okay, so this is Saturn's eclipse, just like we get a solar eclipse. This is Saturn's eclipse, and I think it's like one of the most beautiful fucking things. This is an actual photograph.
All right, folks at home, if you take Saturn and you block out all the cool color of the actual planet, and then you put like one weird dark ring in the middle of the actual ring, that's pretty much what we're looking at right now.
It looks
also, for whatever reason, there's a giant elephant, and I'm still trying to figure that one out, but I think it's because, okay, I get it. There's 3 other turtles, and then it's just turtles all the way down.
What?
It looks like one of those sticky things that you put on your ceiling, like a sticky star.
Yeah, but it's gorgeous. It's one of my favorite pictures ever taken.
Well, okay. So in order for people to actually care about that photo, so what it is Saturn is being backlit by the sun, and it's illuminating the rings, but leaving the shadow side of the planet super dark. So it creates a super high contrast photo, and fucking come us on YouTube, god damn it.
Yeah, and it actually, I mean, if someone just wants to like Google the picture, it doesn't look like an image, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. I was going to talk about something, but now you completely derailed.
I mean, the last thing we said before Justin got excited to show off his picture of his anus was a quasar, which we all know is the light carrier that the Empire uses in Star Wars. Thank you.
Nope. I have one better.
Okay.
Quasar is actually a grenade in Borderlands.
God, I hate you.
Oh my god.
You're welcome.
Wait, hold on. Let me ask something about that. Is it like, okay, so I know what
where you live, Steven.
I know what a quasar is in real life. So is it like a high energy, high velocity grenade?
It pulls things in towards the center at a good velocity where it then flings up and then flings back down after it gets to its like elastic bandwidth. So
which is exactly what fucking quasar does.
Ooh.
That's okay. So that's what a quasar does. It's this. So there's an event horizon, with a black hole. I think there's a black hole in the middle. So there's the event horizon where it's pulling in all of this stuff at really high rate of speed, and then it shoots out this incredibly bright tube of fucking, I forget what it's called, matter, but it looks like a fucking jet of light, and it's called a quasar, and that makes sense because that's exactly how it works.
It's basically the compressed particles coming out of the black hole in a way.
Yep.
Is what it is. It's like everything that didn't go into the black hole is just like that, as far as I remember. I think.
Hey, can
Steve,
we
Steve, I can't get over. Okay, Steve looks like from every 90s movies or 80s movie when it was the character that's crazy that needed that it was the like he's explaining something to the camera shot.
Oh yeah, breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, that's the shot of Steve right now.
The only thing he's missing is either a tinfoil hat and or an armadillo shell helmet.
I'm gonna wear a tinfoil hat next week.
I mean, they're
Can you go
completely green,
with it
so
and put some chocolate in there.
I'm gonna wear a tinfoil hat next week. That's it. That's all there is. Hey, question: is Pluto a planet? Yes or no?
yes.
No.
We want to fight about this? Are we trying to get a fight about this? Is it a fight on site?
Who said
I
no?
grew up with it being a planet, so
Pluto is not a planet. Thank you.
That now.
thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I will not be taking any further questions at this time.
It's
He also grew up with Mr. Potato
it's
Head.
not a planet.
Potato Head family. He better have a massive dick and a Tom Selleck mustache. Thank you for
I
coming.
saw a meme the other day that was like, with all of the things that you can fit in Mr. Potato Head's ass, I don't think he's the conservative icon that right wingers do.
Did you guys realize or know that Mr. Potato Head used to just be the pieces like the eyes, the hands, the feet,
And you put them
the
in an
mouth?
actual potato. That's
Yeah.
how it was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite was
Oh,
Madam Cucumber.
How long? Okay, can someone look up when Mr. Potato Head was made? Because, like, imagine it had to have been the Depression.
It's
It
over
has-
50 years ago. Over 50 years.
Oh, I would have thought it was like in the Depression when people like, we can't afford toys, so we're gonna
Nope.
stick things in this potato and it's gonna be a doll.
Anybody want to take a guess before looking it up?
I'm already
54.
The present.
1952. You were close, Steve. It was first manufactured and distributed by Hasbro in 1952.
When did
That
the
was close.
when did the television become like widely available?
Right around 55 through 60 was when it started. It was still massive, and you had the rabbit ears on the back. And I believe the first TV show was like a
The
new
rabbit ears?
response, or of course.
So that the reason why I was asking was because there's no way in hell that if TV was widely available, that people would be sticking things in a potato and calling it a good time.
I
No,
guess that's
mean-
true. The original toy came with ears, eyes, shoes, a hat, a nose, pants, and a mouth.
pants? How you gonna
Yes,
put pants,
pants.
in a potato?
Well, you got to put his massive dick someplace.
Potato.
So allegedly there was something in 1926, but I'm not finding anything beyond that. It's just it's some guy named Baird. I'm trying to find the first commercially available off that, and I'm just
So
1928 by Mr. Philo Farnsworth.
that's amazing.
That sounds awfully familiar.
Right?
Oh, wait, the TV?
Yeah.
The TV, yeah. The TV was I think invented or first commercially available through Farnsworth, which is one of the reasons why they named the professor that in
Futurama.
Futurama. So,
That's
yeah.
oddly coincidental.
Facts. And Futurama is definitely on topic because they do cool shit in space.
Oh my! Not only that, but they incorporate actual deeply intelligent scientific space related phenomena into their
Show.
show, and it's very funny.
Before we get too into Futurama and back on topic, because this was relevant 3 minutes ago, by 1949, almost all major cities had at least one television station. By the end of 1946, but only 44,000 homes had a TV set. By the end of 1949, there were 4.2 million TV homes. By 1953, 50% of all American households had one television. So, like, the fact that this toy got popular.
Hold on, this looks like if you ordered a Mr. Potato Head off of Wish.
So you're getting the original off of Wish? That's
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
I liked that detour.
That's insane.
But going back to a rather legend cartoon show, they literally, when it came back on the air in like the early 2010s, there was an episode that had a math equation on a chalkboard that was legit. They had no need or no reason to come up with a piece of math that was, able to be solved and accurate for a quick 10-second throwaway gag, and they did that. So
they flexed on us.
They flexed hard. It was like the Goodwill Hunting of cartoon shows.
Dude, Futurama is so. I am not a Simpsons fan. It's not that I'm not. I just don't care. I'm not either way about it. I don't care. But I was like meh about Futurama. And the guy I was seeing at the time was like, just watch a few episodes. And I swear I binged that whole series in like 2 months. The whole series. I love that show.
I remember when it came out.
What?
I remember when it came out. Ryan and I were in 2nd grade.
Oh, God, you're making me feel old.
You're only 2 years older than me. Shut up. You're in 4th grade.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
I'm 34.
Shut up. You're like 2 years older than me.
Math.
Listen, I'm a history major for a reason, not a math major.
Math.
I mean, dates you should know. So you should know her birth date, which means you should know how much older she is than you.
Homie, let me be real with you. There was one time in one of our history classes where we tried to figure out how old General Seleucus was, and because it was BC dates versus AD dates, we could not do it.
Who's General?
Really?
Who's General Beluga or whatever?
Seleucus, all right, when we do the actual history trio, it's going to be awesome. After Alexander the Great died, his empire was broken up to his like major generals. The Ptolemies took Egypt, and Seleucus took where modern day like Damascus, Israel, all that area is.
So, John, do you realize, or back then, did you realize that all you have to do is add the two numbers together from what year we're in to what year he was born, and you have his date or how old he was?
Steve, once again,
yes.
History people don't do math.
Oh,
okay.
Here's a fun way we could do. Here's a fun way we could do history as a trio. We could do kind of 3 of us could take 3 different parts of history and then convince somebody to which is the best part of history to go back and live in.
Realistically,
no.
Unbiased person.
I'm not doing that. I'm not putting myself.
Judge Riv is in session.
No, we're not doing that. So to get us back on topic,
I'll be the judge.
God no.
Yeah, God no. Sorry, Steve, but no, it's not happening.
Wins.
God damn it. So to get us back on topic, does everyone know what that is?
No, I just see a screen. Hey.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's the eye.
That's Saturn.
That's the storm
the eye.
on Saturn.
Oh, it's on Jupiter.
Jupiter.
Jupiter's Great Red Spot.
Yep.
So Jupiter's Great Red Spot is a continuing, forever ongoing storm. The winds in it are going faster than any recorded winds. I was trying to find an actual speed for them, and I can't find the speed for them. I'm on NASA's website. NASA doesn't have the actual speeds for those winds. It just says that they're counterclockwise and the wind speed exceed those of any storm on Earth. And the spot is so huge that it can fit 1.3 Earths in it, which is crazy.
Which planet has the hexagon on it? Is that Jupiter too?
The hexagon?
Yeah. There's a planet that has a hexagonal, or it used to have a hexagonal shape of gas.
Was that Uranus?
That's Saturn.
So Saturn has a hexagonal. Pull that up because that's another like gas related fun thing to look at other than Uranus.
So it's around North Pole. I believe this just said it's around the North Pole of the planet. I'm trying to find a good picture of it, which we should have had. Oh, there we go. This is no, it's craters. We should have some of these pictures ready to go, but I did not have time to prepare today. So oh well.
Well, Justin, I think it actually like is dissipating or did dissipate, or is in the process of it, because I remember them saying that like it was a hexagon and now it's like more of a circle, or it's like, I don't know. There was something I remember there being a thing saying that like the hexagon was like disintegrating, or like they were, whatever was making it be hexagonal was not doing that anymore.
I'm not sure, but I just put a picture up of what it looks like, and it's pretty cool. I don't know when this picture is dated, but
it's super cool. And like they couldn't figure out what made the corners happen.
Right.
Because like everything
cool.
with this spherical.
So
I think the general theme of this episode is space is cool.
Space is cool as shit.
Science go. I looked it up for you, Justin. The wind speed they find on average is 268 miles per hour.
That's fast.
I mean,
that's fast.
We get some hurricanes, like some crazy wind speed hurricanes.
Not like
isn't that I don't know, or isn't that, I don't know if anybody's watched the movie. I think I watched it once, but isn't that where the like secret bad guy base is in Jupiter Ascending? Is like in the red spot of Jupiter.
Oh, I didn't.
I watch garbage.
Dude, you fucking watched Mortal Empires. Don't tell me that.
That movie
Mortal
looks
Engines.
Mortal Engines?
Yeah. Whatever. Did I say Mortal Empires?
Yes.
That's because I've been playing a lot of Total War Warhammer.
I know.
Is Mortal Engines about those giant like moving continents?
Cities.
That, like,
moving cities.
Yeah, they're like machine cities.
Yep.
Hate that.
And London swallows them all up like fucking Nazi Germany. Yeah.
You know what? I hated that movie and turned it off halfway through, because that is the coolest fucking concept for a book and movie or whatever, however it started off. That is the coolest fucking concept. And it was such poor execution that I turned it off halfway through.
Yes.
You know,
the books are good. The books are pretty good for Mortal Engines.
Hey, bringing it back to this real quick. Category 5 hurricanes on Earth are any wind speed above 157 miles an hour, and they're considered catastrophic.
Don't like that.
Right. So this is category, let's say like category 7 hurricane. I'm just giving it a random number above 5. But a category 7 hurricane that is almost 2 Earths in size, and it's just ongoing, which is just mind-boggling to think about.
Well, the gases are constantly motivating it to move, so it's not like it can settle.
Right. I mean, yeah, there's an explanation for why, but I'm just saying that the actual like thought of that happening is insane.
Yes. It's nuts. The whole concept, Jupiter as a whole is like, oh, that's this giant ball of gas. Like the density, I think someone said once that the density, if you like squish down the particles of Jupiter, it could fit in like a bathtub. Like it's so, the density, I'm using the wrong science.
It's not dense. It's
volume.
Area.
It's mass. No, is it mass?
Yeah, it'd be mass.
It's mass. Yeah, so the mass is such that if you squished it all down into like solid matter, it would fit in your bathtub. Which is fucking sane to me. That's wild.
Yep. Okay, so that is what I have. Do you have anything else to show us, Val?
Ooh. If I had a nickel for every time someone asked me that.
You'd have exactly negative 15 cents.
I would have no money. Okay.
No, do you have anything else to show us? I'd like my money back, please.
I have my receipt. Hold, please. Okay, we did the hexagon on Saturn.
1 out of 5 stars, not satisfied.
the Einstein cross.
Okay.
Oh, the Einstein cross is a galaxy situated between Earth. It's situated between Earth and a quasar 8 billion light years away. And it creates a gravitational lens that bends the quasar's light, creating 4 bright outer objects. And so the image looks like a cross. So it's essentially a quasar, and the way that the light is refracting is making it look like a cross, even though that is just one object. That's just the quasar refracted in the way that Ryan was talking about, like a piece of quartz getting refracted.
It literally looks like ringworm.
I know it looks like something from the movie The Ring. It looks like a weird.
I don't want to be down that well with that girl.
If you showed that to a ghost hunter, they would tell you that it was something.
Oh, I've got something that's cool. So it's called the pup.
The what?
It's called the pup, like puppy, but shortened. The pup.
Okay.
And what the pup is it's a white dwarf star, but the density is so heavy that a handful, if you took the planet and you took a handful of it, it weighs the same as 10 full cement trucks.
Okay,
so
that's pretty cool.
Gravity. Yeah. Imagine the gravitational pull from that fucking thing. Yeah, so it's called the pup. It's just like a white dwarf star, but they've done the calculations, and a handful of that star, if you could ever take a handful of a star, it would weigh the same as 10 cement trucks, which is really.
You're talking about a supermassive. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
And so, okay, there's another object called V381 Nor, and it's a double binary. It's a double binary galaxy, and what it is, it's two. Is it 2 galaxies? Yeah. No. It's 2 galaxies. And so what's happening is we're seeing they're starting to, let me back up. At the middle of both of these objects, there's black holes. And when you, if you've seen the movie Interstellar, you know that if you get close enough to a black hole, you reach something called the accretion disk. And if you get to a certain, what is it called? The terminal, what is it?
The event horizon.
Event horizon. So, fucking great movie. So if you get to the event horizon, or any piece of matter gets to the event horizon, it will not escape the gravity of the black hole. And so what they're seeing is, this is essentially like, so picture 2 records or 2 CDs, and one of them's perpendicular to the other, and the CDs or the discs are the accretion discs, or that like point of no return, where the matter is being pulled into. And what's happening is they're seeing the beginning of them crossing into each other's event horizon. And so what it looks like is these 2 discs that are swirling, and then they're just slowly starting to like suck into one another. And so eventually these 2 celestial bodies will form into one larger black hole. But that's one of the first times that they'd seen like the double binary in each other's event horizon. So yeah, that's V381 Nor.
So you want to know something cool that I just learned about? Well, as I was research on the fly or whatever. So do you guys know what a zombie star is?
No.
It sounds like it would be a dead star that still has life in it.
No, kind of. So basically what this is, and I'm just kind of reading, so it's when a white dwarf, it's when 2 stars are next to each other and one of them dies, and it's only about like half dead. So one of the stars starts eating material off of the other one, and then that the companion star becomes large enough that it then explodes, and then the one that died first then starts eating material off of the other one. So like two companion stars that like feed off of each other until one of them explodes, leaving behind just one of them, which is the zombie star.
That's cool as shit.
Yeah, and I have again visual medium, but I have a picture, kind of like a zoomed out picture of a zombie star, like two sitting next to each other, getting larger, and like it has the dates and stuff there. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. It's called a zombie star because it like eats off of its companion to get bigger.
That's awesome.
So, cool shit.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Space is fucking cool. Also, like for anybody who like it happens to be watching this and wants to learn more, there are so many amazing opportunities to learn about free, like most museum websites have free resources. If you have a library card, a lot of times your library card will give you access to a ton of online content, and a lot of it is just kind of like free educational content. There's so much access to so many cool if you want to learn astronomy, it's super overwhelming for like a little while, and then you start to realize that you can just kind of like pick and choose. There's so much that has to do, there's so much stuff about space that like you'll never know all of it, and since you're not going to become an actual astronomer, just like pick and choose the stuff that interests you. But there's so many amazing resources on the internet. Your local, a lot of times local, and this is all, you know, when we can, now that we're starting to get back to, you know, interacting with the world, a lot of colleges will do, community colleges, universities will do like astronomy nights where they'll put out their astronomy department will put out their telescopes, and like the public can come and look at them. So there's, and also telescopes are relatively inexpensive, and they have a pretty short learning curve. I got my telescope from a Boomerang's thrift store, I think for like $20, and it was like a $300 telescope. What?
Was it the one in Cambridge?
Yeah. But yeah, I got it for like $20, and it's like, I looked it up, it's like a $300 telescope, and you know, but they have wicked cheap telescopes. And then definitely download that app on your phone. It's called like a night sky app or sky, I don't know. Just look up like astronomy apps, and you can just like walk outside, and with absolutely no knowledge of the way that the sky works, you can identify things and like and the more that you just like go out and look at the sky for a couple minutes a night, if you make it a habit, you'll start to see the way in which things move, and you'll start to recognize different constellations. So it's definitely something that like it's one of the cooler things. It's the universe. It's literally what it's the biggest thing that exists. So learn a little bit about it.
It is existence.
It is existence. We are the universe experiencing itself. So experience yourself.
We are just space dust experiencing the space dust.
Yes.
I actually changed my recommendation from what I was originally going to recommend. I actually have a cool recommendation that is actually a pretty cool learning tool.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, now that you mentioned that, unless anybody has anything else, we're going to go into that wonderful time at the end of our episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is recommendation time.
Ryan, why don't you start us off since you were so excited about the...
Okay. In 2015, a game went on PC onto the Steam platform. It is called Universe Sandbox. It has been in early access since then, simply because it's been completely and totally it's been being added to and worked on since 2015 continuously all the time. There was just an update at the end of 2020. But yeah, so it is a game that does exactly what it says on the tin. it allows you to completely simulate with real-time physics and real-time like high processing. It really depends on how good your computer is with how well it runs. It allows you to simulate things like quasars and black holes hitting each other and planets hitting each other and the movement of the planets, and like you could really interact with it. It is also really cool because if you have a VR helmet, you can literally be inside of the universe and start moving planets around with your hands, which is a pretty cool thing that I really want to do at some point. But otherwise, Universe Sandbox is on Steam. Right now it's $30, but it is really fucking cool.
I am going to purchase that very soon.
Yeah.
And take mushrooms and move planets with my hands.
Well, you need a VR helmet to do that, but yeah, you can do it with the mouse. You can do it with the mouse. Move everything.
Just in case anybody at home is wondering, Val's not serious about the mushrooms. She's gonna eat some portobellos.
Portobellos. Portobellos.
I'm pretty sure we're not in any danger of anybody realizing that, Val does mushrooms and then going after watching our podcast. I don't think we're on the FBI watch list, unless there's something I don't know. But
and if the FBI is watching, I don't know where she lives.
Yeah,
Lindsay, that's all I know.
I do not have her address that I did not send things to before, so do not ask me for it.
The mug showed up on its own.
Who are you people?
Yeah, the network sent that. We didn't.
Okay, Steve, it's your turn since you decided to speak out.
But you guys were doing it. How come I can't do it? How come I have to be the one that's singled out?
It's your turn.
Go ahead, Steve. I called you out. Go.
All right. I'm going to recommend Borderlands, the pre-sequel.
Oh, God.
You had a call on me.
Go ahead. Go ahead. It's your turn.
The anti-physics are freaking amazing. Because it takes place in space, because low gravity and everything, I actually thought it'd be a good idea to do it.
Oh, that's nice. Is there monkey hair in this one?
God, I hate you. Why do you egg him on?
You're egging him on.
No.
I want to know.
No, only in the second one.
There's no monkey hair. Well, I'm glad. See, it's related, you guys. He did the assignment.
There's an assignment?
Did he?
He did the
I can say I did a math assignment if I just put 0 as the answer for every question. Did I really do the assignment though? No.
I mean,
no, you put a 0 with a line through it.
There was an attempt.
No. Actually, my recommendation was.
Sorry, guys.
That was comical. Good work, Justin.
Was actually what I was
sorry.
It was actually what I was drinking tonight. I was drinking Viking's Blood, which is an ale or a mead. And my God, fucking delicious.
And playing Valheim?
What? Who?
Oh, it's a new Viking game that everyone's playing. I'm sorry. Go on. Sorry.
No, Viking's Blood, the mead. Delicious.
Okay.
Absolutely delicious.
Ooh. That sounds nice.
It is very smooth, a little heavy. Not that bad with alcohol content.
Uh-huh.
I was drinking it out of a fancy glass.
Right?
That I am.
Okay. Val, why don't you go?
Okay, so I was thinking the other day that so I don't know if it comes across on YouTube, but I have like a lighting setup that I use it doesn't make a difference, but I like to have this light set up. And I use it for this and I use it for work. I am a makeup artist by trade and I take it with me everywhere. And it's amazing. And I think that if you are someone who has a ring light or is like any type of content, or you take a lot of selfies, or you have a ring light and you may not want to like upgrade your gear. I have something, it's called a Glamcor light, GLAMCOR. And it's not a ring, it's two. Here, I'll see if I can show you. I'll show you. It's on my really low tech rig. Oh no, you can't see it. So you can't see it because I have my back on. But so what it is, it's these two, instead of a ring light that's kind of stationary and you can kind of move it up and down. It's these two arms, LED strip arms. And they are bendable in any way that you want. There is a third attachment, like a third arm that bends as well, that you can put attachments to hold your phone, to hold your camera, to hold your iPhone. And so they can literally bend to any direction that you want. They're dimmable. So I have a little remote. Ooh, why does it do that? I have a little remote. And so I can
make space remote.
Yeah, it's my background. I can make it way brighter. I can make it warm. I can make it cool. So you can see the differences in, all the cool stuff that you can do. It's a little bit pricey, but I think if you're someone who is, maybe is stepping up your game as like a makeup artist or some kind of content creator, or like in the entertainment industry in some way, it's GLAMCOR. It comes in this big, amazing bag like this, and I beat the shit out of this thing. I've had this thing for over a year. I brought it to every single gig and I beat the shit out of it, and it is holding up super, super well. So yeah, it's called the Glamcor light, GLAMCOR. Highly recommend.
Very cool.
Yeah.
John, you want to go next?
Yeah, download a new mod for one of my games. It's for a game from 2005 called Star Wars Empire at War. And the mod itself is called Thrawn's Revenge. It basically takes place in the interim between Return of the Jedi and Episode 7. It's pretty badass. Go download it. It's a lot of fun. Justin, you're up.
Okay. I am recommending, so I had a video game recommendation, but I'm going to wait until next week to recommend it because it's more in the Earth colony kind of vein. But I am going to recommend another YouTube channel that I frequent a lot. It's called Switch Planet. What they do is they have videos of new announced Switch games. It's specifically for the Nintendo Switch, if you can't tell by the name. But they do videos every week of what's on sale, the best things on sale, new games coming up, a bunch of stuff. And it's really nice. They do really nice videos, really nice transitions to their videos. I enjoy watching them. So if after you subscribe to us, go subscribe to Switch Planet. And so that's there's also another one called Switch Corner if you want to go check them out too. So 2 YouTube channels for Nintendo Switch users. So there you go. It's my recommendation. And I will leave the Outer Worlds till next week when we talk about Earth colonies.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I have a space game. I was going to do this week, but I'm going to do next week too. So yeah,
okay. Very cool. Okay. Anybody else have anything else, or I will count us out?
I'm giving everyone homework. If you watch our podcast, at least one night this week, go outside and look at the sky, even if it's just for 5 minutes, because you may not learn anything, but it's really relaxing. I guarantee you'll feel a little bit less like everything's terrible.
You might freeze, but it'll be fun.
Download. You can also, on most phones, you can download a high exposure lens, a high exposure camera that will keep the lens on your camera on the phone open a long time, and it'll allow you to take better pictures of like stars because it allows more light in. So if you point that upwards, if you're not like in a city somewhere with a lot of high light pollution, it should give you some decent pictures, depending on how long it allows the shutter to stay open. So,
or just go back like 45 minutes to when I rattled off random camera bits, and you can probably figure that out too.
or if you, like John said, if you want to spend a bunch of money on a camera, that's a thing too.
Yeah. Shit, Nikon.
Just get a tripod. If you're gonna do that route, get a fucking tripod, or else it'll be really shaky and terrible.
I mean,
Hey, have you ever thought that compared to people on the exact opposite side of the globe from us, we're upside down?
Have you ever thought
standing on the ceiling?
I'll do you one better. Have you ever thought of calling someone who lives in the house directly on the other side of the planet with you and have both of you put a piece of bread on the floor and make an earth sandwich?
Yeah.
wait, hang on. I can actually one up this wonderfully. There's a pilot in Australia. He took off, I believe, from near Adelaide, which is like one of the most southern cities of Australia. And he flew to Antarctica. And he turned his plane upside down. So he was literally flying under the planet as he got there.
That's cool.
There's a similar story of a Russian guy who did the same thing in the North Pole, but he flew on top of the planet in a celestial craft.
Nice. And on that beautiful note, John, thank you for listening or watching us. If you wanted to listen to us again or catch up on any of our other episodes, you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, YouTube, and a handful of other podcast platforms. If you can't find us on your favorite podcast platform, please let us know so I can work on getting us there. Our tag, you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and more is 3EP Podcasts. It's 3EP Podcasts. Our website is 3eppodcast.com. Please come check it out and visit our host page to learn a little bit about the us. And we also have a ringtone page if you want to download a ringtone and set it to your notifications for one of those crazy things Val or John says. We live stream episodes almost every Tuesday around 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, so follow us here. Please give us a like and most definitely comment so we know what you think about what we were doing, or let us know if you have any questions. If they're listening to us in SoundCloud or YouTube or Spotify or anywhere that supports it, what do they do, Steve?
Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Let us know that you like us. Those with a thumbs down. Come to our YouTube channel. Definitely check us out. Leave us a comment there. It's all great and get fancy.
Please don't give us a thumbs down. Please also remember to check out our network at GiveUsAShout.network, where you can find our sister podcast as well as our t-shirts and other merch. Please go to our merch site. It supports us. And I also have a Anchor support us link in our episodes now. So go there and you can give us like $1 or like $1 a month or some shit like that. So please do that. And it helps us. It helps us do the things that we do. So
be fucking funny weirdos on the internet.
Yeah. So everyone say goodnight to our listeners while I put on some cool shades. And we will see you next week when we talk about other Earths. So we're going to talk about like going to live on another planet and where humans go after we fuck this one up. So come back and listen to us then. Have a good night, everyone.
Deuces.
Bye.